Is Joe Rogan a shill? Let me first start by saying I love Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't agree with him on, I'm not into evolution. I know that a big part of his show is having people on there that are anti-alien and anti-creation and intelligent design. I don't think we came from apes eating mushrooms, okay? But for anybody to be as smart as Joe Rogan is and to change their mind, not that you can't, but to be fair, when you know that a combustible rocket engine isn't going to work in space, so how would you get back home? They deleted the footage, right? They deleted all the data. There's no stars in the pictures. We never went back. There's just too many. They took all these pictures. Your hand can't work in a vacuum with those gloves on. Do you ever see those tests? So it makes me wonder, just like Stephen Curry or Stephen Curry, whatever his name is, I don't follow sports. It just makes me wonder, did they get to him and make him change his shit around? I don't know. But I do know that he really will have people on his show, and I don't really like this about him, like Tom DeLonge, Stephen Greer, and people that are, alien believers and shit like that. And I'm not saying you can't be skeptical, but a guy as smart as Joe Rogan has to know some inside shit. Somebody's had to tell him, it just looks weird that he'll have somebody on and then he'll shit all over them when they're not there anymore. And that's not really the sign of a fucking great dude either. Everybody he has on, hey, I understand you believe in evolution. Everybody, that he has on is anti-alien and anti-God and all that. But, if you think that this shit right here happened because two rocks collided, and it's the only time it's ever, happened, and there's life on this planet, and that your body is so intelligently it's just mathematically fucking perfect that you think that, I'm not even saying you have to believe in Jesus, forget that whole thing, okay? You have to know that there was somebody that created the earth. I tried to believe in Darwinism and evolution at one time, and I just can't do it. I just can't get there. So, it's his show, he can do what he wants, but the debate, it's very staunch, and it's very much, this is the way it is. And I just think that, I don't know, it just does seem like a guy that smart that changes his stance. And he's a spiritual cat too, you know what I mean, with the DMT and the toad fucking stuff and all that shit. I would imagine that a guy that's had as many trips using psychedelic drugs would be a little bit more spiritual, and I just wonder if they got to him. I don't know, I used to think Eddie Bravo was a fucking nut job, okay? Until I really started looking into flat earth stuff. And the fact that people get so pissed off by this, that it makes me wonder, they make a really good argument more that the earth is flat than it is round. We haven't been up high enough out of Earth's orbit to really take a picture of it. And NASA says that too. We haven't been past Earth's lower orbit. So forget everything about space, okay? Because it's all bullshit. Elon Musk sending his car to fucking Mars or whatever. It's all bullshit. They never showed us land on the moon. They only showed the bottom part of landing on the moon. You're not going to show a panoramic view You know what I mean? You're gonna show the landing gear, most historic thing in the world? Come on, Joe. You know that shit. You know the fucking truth. You know? I mean, you don't delete the technology and then destroy all the data and shit like that if you're being honest. You don't call the moon 200. Where would they put the gas to go or the fuel to go 400,000 miles and come back? Once, say the engine did work in outer space. Once you get there, how are you turning it back on? And not to mention, there's no dust on any of the footing of the Apollo 11. There's no dust. Everything looks nice and shiny. You know what I mean? Come on, Joe. You know what the fucking truth is. And I don't know if they got you and you're worried about ending up like John Lennon, Kennedy, or Martin Luther King, or Bob Marley, you know, but it would seem feasible if the government can change Stephen Curry around, that they could get to you too, you know. And why wouldn't they get to you? You have the biggest podcast going right now, you know. Did they make you an offer you couldn't refuse?